Okay. Hello. Welcome back to another journey of a drawing. 2 days ago, I started this drawing of a fairy. I figured out that it would probably be a good thing to finish this drawing. It's a good habit to finish anything that you've started. Even if you don't like it in the end, at least you got something started and then you finished it. Then you can evaluate it from there. I am Kurt Brugel. I am a fantasy artist and I love drawing. You can find me on the internet. You can find me specifically at kurtbrugel.com. This drawing is based on a drawing fairies workbook that I made a few years back, and I've been bringing them back and looking at them. So I'm actually going through the whole process of drawing through the workbook. I have 4 easy steps to get myself to a really established, which this is, drawing. I start out scribbling, then I'll do out some blocking and darkening areas. I'll start smudging, I'll erase, and then I'll just come into details, and that's where I'm at again right now, is with all the detailing. One particular thing I'm going to start with is the face. I like the eyes, but down here in the mouth area and everything. So I'm actually just going to start working in here and then work my way out. Try to find some other places. This is a chamois, and all I'm doing is just erasing. Smudging. And I can still see stuff. And bring out my little pencil. The pencil I'm using is a Staedtler Norca. It's an HB2, and I like using it because it has a white eraser. So I'm going to come back in here in the lower portions, try to find something. Yeah, that was pretty quick. I like that. Okay. So now we get into the eyebrows. My fairies have very bushy eyebrows. Get a little bit closer here for you all. So one of the styles and techniques that I use here is letting the drawing do the talking. When I established the drawing by making all these scribbling marks and then smudging and then erasing, all this activity, it's just information. As I go along, it's either giving more information or taking away. So I'm either going to be drawing with the pencil point or the eraser. how do I, so I just had a comment, a question. It's a really good one. And is, how do I know when a drawing is done? Well, I let the drawing tell me that. There's really only so much you can say in a drawing, or should say in a drawing. This is just a simple fairy portrait, like a character design. So I really don't have much to give in the way of other than, hey, this is my version of a fairy. And then by starting out scribbling, smudging, erasing, going through that whole process, like I said, I end up in a place where I really, today, right now, I'm just finishing the drawing. So getting to a point where I feel comfortable and confident with what it is that I'm going about as a drawing, an illustration to tell a little story about something or somebody. So, yeah, the drawing is going to tell me. There are times when the drawing is just not going to work out the way you planned it or thought in the beginning it was going to work out. And that's okay. Get to a point where you're just happy with it. You might not be ecstatic about it, but it's definitely somewhere, something that you feel good about. Leave it alone. Maybe come back to it another point. Or do it again, draw it again. So the face is pretty good. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Get much love there. Might be a fairy fan. Is it a fairy fan? Are you a fairy fan? Alright, feeling really confident about this. Almost done. I want to do one thing. This is a white paint marker. And since I do so much smudging and scribbling and erasing, the paper is pretty coarse. It will, get to a point where it's hard to get whites in there. So I like using this here. White paint marker. I also use my finger to kind of blot out in areas. I'm only doing this in areas where I feel like there just needs to be a little bit more detail. Information in areas like the hand, arms, fingers. My fairies are of the light, which means they emit a lot of light. And that would have hit this wing. These paint markers are just like a can of spray paint. You just gotta shake them ever so often to revitalize them. Ooh, that's a lot. Oh yeah. All right. This is looking pretty darn good to me. Yes, I am very satisfied. Just a little bit grass in the background catching some light. And yes, I will call this complete. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. This has been Drawing a Fairy with Kurt Brugel. 2 days from now, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing another drawing, starting another drawing. If you want to keep up with me, go ahead to kurtbrugel.com. There's a newsletter you can join. And every so often, usually on Mondays, I send out a list of what I'll be drawing, when I'll be drawing, and you'll also be able to finish or see the finished drawings that I create. All right. Thank you so very much for joining me. And we'll see you in 2 days at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.